Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, some up in New York, a little bit out in Ohio. This sort of area, not, you know, within 250 to 500 miles or so of Phoenixville is where you're going to find most of them still. And most of them were built by Dean and Westbrook. You know, they aren't the early versions of the Phoenix Column Truss. They're the somewhat later versions that were put up by Dean and Westbrook. Occasionally you find one that was an old railroad bridge that got taken down, relocated for use on a farm lane somewhere. You find Phoenix columns in buildings. This is down in Wilmington. This is a Phoenix column, also in a building in Wilmington. And then I'm going to talk about the bridge I cross every day to my work in Trenton, New Jersey. This is the Calhoun Street Bridge over the Delaware River, which is a fantastic Phoenix column truss. But I wanted to show you, and the Joint Bridge Commission that owns this bridge, New Jersey and Pennsylvania, the Joint Bridge Commission, really takes wonderful care of their truss bridges all up and down the Delaware River from Trenton north. You're going to find wonderful truss bridges. Washington's Crossing, just keep going on up. They're just gorgeous bridges. But this is a case study, though, in how people have repaired Phoenix columns that have broken over the years in various ways. So, and I like to show this. Here's one. This one got run into by a car about 15 years ago, and they replaced it with a pipe. That's just a pipe replacing a Phoenix column. Here's another one that got replaced. This is essentially a pipe with like little flanges on it to make it look like a Phoenix column. That's in the upper lateral bracing. These had rusted out and needed to be replaced. This is a really common kind of repair. There was rusting down here where debris and salt and all sorts of stuff can collect. So they just bolted in some extra plates. Here's a column that's sort of been encased inside some other, it's clamped inside this steel bar to try to stiffen it. Beautiful brackets. Here's another example. That's a Phoenix column inside there to be stiffened. That's pretty much what we were doing to fix Phoenix columns. The last 25 years or so, those are the most common things I see for repairing Phoenix columns. I did get a chance, though, to actually make a Phoenix column out in Lansing, Michigan. I went out there for a workshop. There's a great historic metals workshop out there. I learned how to rivet. Here's a Phoenix column, and we were riveting on a Phoenix column. It's probably the first time that a Phoenix column has been riveted in almost 100 years.
Wow.
In that way, we formed up. These aren't rolled sections. This is stainless steel, and it was bent.
How about that?
Yeah. But what I found out in doing this, we made this for this bridge here, the Zorville Station Bridge, which is out in Ohio, and it has Phoenix columns in it. It was designed by Wendell Bowman, who was the B&O Railroad's famed engineer, and he's got Phoenix columns in it from 1868. These are some of the oldest Phoenix columns in a bridge out there. And they had really, this is a section of it right here, of the original one. They had really rusted out terribly, and some of them had to be replaced. What I found out in doing this was that this is Doug Lockhart, who's the guy who was leading the construction of these Phoenix columns. He's actually a blacksmith, and he came up with the way of doing this. This Phoenix column right here only costs about $1,500 to fabricate.
That's all?
That's all. Which is, I had told lots of engineers tell me it just never could be done. We actually came up with a solution that was really quite economical. I was really, really pleased.
And it's stainless steel.
And it's stainless steel.
Yeah. Is that, how does it compare in strength with what Phoenix would have made?
It compares quite favorably. Yeah, the Phoenix columns, in compression at least, are not as strong as any steel column. They're really quite strong. And then, sort of as a personal note, Barb was asking me about how I got interested, and I think someone else did too. When I was in graduate school, I had a project with the Historic American Engineering record. They sent me up to Massachusetts, and one of the first bridges I ever got to do research on was this Atherton Road Bridge in Lancaster, Massachusetts, and it has Phoenix columns in it. This was a bridge designed by a Philadelphia bridge builder in the early 1870s. And I got to take photographs and help with the drawings and do a history of it. It's all at the Library of Congress now. This bridge still exists. It's been bypassed and sits there as a pedestrian bridge.
So it's still in use then?
It's a pedestrian bridge. And it was a highway bridge when I saw it.
That's what I found in our research, that many that have been saved and conserved or restored are used as pedestrian parts of parks and things of that nature.
Yeah. Now, I should say, I skipped over the Bowman Trust and the Zorville Station Bridge real quickly. This is a 3-section column.
I've never seen that.
And you'll never have seen it, because I was calling this a Phoenix column, they're all calling it a Phoenix column. I'm convinced now it was not made here. This is something that Wendell Bowman and the B&O Railroad were using just for a few years in the late 1860s. I think about the time the patent case was being resolved. And so other people were sort of beginning to steal the idea.
So he did a segue.
If I could interject, a couple of years ago, I was contacted by the Highway Department of Ohio, because they were replacing that bridge. And they offered us Phoenix columns, and I